Have you ever felt like people only remember you when they need something? You drop everything, change your plans, and bend over backwards for them, only to watch them disappear once their problem is solved, leaving you alone with your own mess. If this sounds familiar, then you need to hear the story of Ethan. In a quiet village nestled in the countryside lived a man named Ethan. He was known for his kind heart and his inability to say no. A neighbor's cart stuck in the mud. Ethan was there. A friend's roof leaking. Ethan would rush over. Day or night, rain or shine, he was the village's go-to guy. He believed that helping others was the mark of a good man, but his generosity came at a steep price. While he fixed everyone else's problems, his own farm lay neglected, its soil begging for attention. His cottage, once cozy, now had a leaky roof and a creaky door. His own health was failing, worn down by endless tasks for others. His aging mother would often watch him, a gentle sadness in her eyes, and ask, "Ethan, everyone comes to you for help, but who helps you?" Ethan would just smile, hopeful that one day his kindness would be returned. That day never seemed to come. One autumn, a fierce storm was predicted. The entire village scrambled to protect their harvests. Ethan's friend, Jacob, panicked, his haystack still exposed. Without a second thought, Ethan abandoned his own wheat field and rushed to help Jacob. They worked tirelessly, securing Jacob's hay just as the first raindrops fell. But when Ethan returned to his own farm, it was too late. The storm had unleashed its fury, and his uncovered wheat was completely ruined. He had saved everyone's harvest except his own. That night, Ethan sat on his porch, drenched and defeated, the silence heavier than the rain. His mother brought him a blanket and whispered, "You saved the village, my son, but you lost yourself." The weight of his loss settled deep in his bones. It wasn't just the wheat, it was the realization that his endless giving had left him with nothing. He felt an exhaustion so profound it had nothing to do with physical labor. It was the exhaustion of always being available, of being a resource for everyone but himself. Seeking solace, he visited old George, the wisest farmer in the village. As Ethan poured out his heart, George listened patiently. When Ethan finished, George pointed to a nearby river. "Look at that river, Ethan," he said. "It nourishes every field it touches, bringing life wherever it flows. But what happens if it floods? It loses its path, destroys the very fields it's meant to nurture, and eventually runs dry." George looked Ethan in the eye. "Your kindness is like that river. Without banks, without boundaries, it will destroy you. You've been flooding your own life to water everyone else's garden. It's time to build some banks. Learn to say no, or at least, not today. Your time and energy are your most precious crops. Protect them." George's words struck Ethan like lightning. He decided to try an experiment. For 7 days, he would practice saying no. The very next morning, Jacob rushed over, frantic about his sick bull. "Ethan, I need you, now," he pleaded. Old habits screamed at Ethan to drop everything and go. But he took a deep breath and, for the first time, said, "I can't. Jacob, I have to finish my own work first." Jacob stared, shocked, then left in a huff. Ethan felt a pang of guilt, but also a strange, new feeling, a sense of control. As the days went on, he politely declined other requests. A neighbor wanted help mending a fence. Another needed advice on a new crop. Each time, Ethan calmly stated he was busy with his own tasks. The requests dwindled, and a quiet peace began to settle over his life. On the 4th day, the rain returned, and his own roof began to leak. He waited, expecting someone to show up and offer help, just as he had done for so many others. But no one came. The village was silent. In that moment, sitting alone in his leaking cottage, Ethan didn't feel angry or abandoned. He smiled. He finally understood. When he was always available, everyone needed him. Now that he had set boundaries, he had only himself. And for the first time, that felt like enough. He climbed onto the roof and began the repairs. Each hammer blow, a declaration of his own self-worth. Weeks turned into months. Ethan's life transformed. He no longer rushed to please everyone. He chose his own peace over others' approval. His farm flourished under his dedicated care. His health returned, and a genuine smile replaced the weary one he used to wear. The villagers noticed the change. They didn't resent him. They respected him more. They saw a man who valued himself, and that made him more valuable to the community. Even Jacob learned to manage his own crises, becoming more self-reliant. One sunny afternoon, old George stopped by. He looked at Ethan's thriving farm, and at Ethan himself, who looked happier and healthier than ever. "So, Ethan, George said, with a knowing smile. Did the world fall apart when you stopped being available to everyone? Ethan shook his head. No, he replied, his voice clear and strong. It didn't. In fact, it only changed for the better. George nodded. That's because when you finally said no to others, you were really saying yes to yourself. This story is a reminder for all of us. You are not a bad person for saying no. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. Choosing yourself over the pressure to please others is not an indulgence. It is an act of survival. Your time, your mind, and your energy are yours to protect. By setting boundaries, you don't push people away. You teach them how to respect you. Thank you for watching. For more stories that teach us about life, remember to subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself.